Does Quick actually need Super Scope? This is something that came up while I was streaming yesterday, and someone was telling me that Quick is so expensive. Quick doesn't just is weaker than Buster. I'm not gonna deny that weaker than Buster part just because like what Quick actually wants to do, Buster right now, because of Koi and Sky can just do that role just so much better. Let me explain. Quick AoE farming. The idea is that you use the AoE to gen so many stars that next turn you're actually able to crit down whoever you're fighting. That's great in theory, but in practice it doesn't work. Mainly because of one little thing called card RNG. You are not guaranteed to get any units cards on any given turn. You have to randomize the 15 cards and hopefully get the cards you need. That's the issue with Quick. It relies too much on RNG. Because if you don't refund enough, if you don't have enough battery, you run into an issue. That's why Scotty was so impactful, because her battery was enough. Her card buff was enough. The really good Quick units were able to hit 50% and then go MP again, back to back. Super Scope, the reason people use it so much, the reason it's put on this list specifically so often is because it's cost effective. This list does not use Plug Suit unless it has to. The reason being, if you're trying to charge up, farm up the back line, you have to use a 5-star most of the time to make up for a Quick unit not looping 100%. Whether it's Waver, Reigns, Castoria, Oberon, someone. If you're not starting with a Super Scope, more likely than not, you have to give up one of the slots they're using to charge up or farm up bond points on another unit and have to do it on a support like that, as if you were Buster farming. That's really the big difference. Quick is very similar to Buster, but Buster just doesn't care about refund. Quick has pretty much the same costs, can get away with lower costs, but again, you have to use a Super Scope to do that. But the second you run into weird nodes or you don't refund as much as you need, you're in trouble with Quick. Buster has no refund, so they're brute forcing, like whatever anyone says. Buster farming is brute forcing. You are brute reloading Buster units back to their MP. Quick is only partial like that. There are units like Charlemagne who functions basically like an arts unit. I've used him with a CE that literally just gave him attack, and he refunded 70% of his MP. Quick, when it doesn't get to that nice 50%, runs into issues. 2004 is to guarantee that the unit fully refunds their MP so that you don't have to use batteries. They don't have to use their own batteries that turn. And if they do need to use a battery, it's the smaller one. Or you could just use Scotty's, depending on how much refund. Because if you're looping like 50 plus with the 2004, more likely than not, their own battery and a Scotty should be able to get you back up on the next turn. So what CEs actually do work with Quick? MP gain, Black Rail, MP damage, Quick up. But most of the time you're going to at least need a 50% CE. Most of the time. And that's assuming you don't care about bomb points. You just want to clear through the nodes. You want to use your favorite units, which I get. I 100% get. The second I'm like done farming my single targets, they get all the appends they need. I'm not gonna care about bond point that much. It's just gonna be something that happens, and then I'm just farming with my favorite with like different units, doing different things, seeing like different gameplay that I'm used to for the last like year and a half, 2 years. So let's just go through the list here. Again, this wasn't even the video I planned for today, but I feel like this is something that people should be aware of. So this one right here is not the best, but this is usable on quick servants. The reason, and again, the reason people say like stay away from split stats, it's not as good, is because it improves your base attack, which affects any attack buffs you have. If your base is higher, that means you get more out of the buff because the buff is a percentage. So 30, I know, math. I know it scares you. I get it. I get it, but you don't have to be afraid. I teach 7-year-olds math. Okay, so 20% of 1,000 is 200. Easy, right? 20% of 2,000 is 400. Are you following me? 400 is bigger than 200, right? Are you still with me? I need to make sure you're still with me on that, because it's very important that you know how percentages work, because that's how most of the scaling in this game works. It's all percentage based. The better your base is, the better like all the other buffs will scale. It's why MP5 for a unit just like does more MP damage than MP1, because the base percentage of the MP is higher, right? 7,000 or 105,000 is more than 70,000. Are you still with me? So any 50% CE technically can work. Thing about quick units though, how they're being designed more recently, and I will bring up Takasugi, who is another JP character that came out recently. I think he is like the base. Oh my god, come on. I think he is the baseline of what quick units actually should be. He has a 30% battery and an append. If you look at most modern AoE quick servants, they all have this. They all have a 30% battery, 20% and you get the mana loading, and they usually have at least a quick buff. Most of the time it's MP gain and a quick buff. He kind of has like a lot of things going for him that he doesn't need the quick buff, but he would like them. I mean, an MP gain buff. That is why the 50% CEs are so good these days. It's because these units can start from the 50%, and then they only have to ever refund 50% for the rest of the wave. If their base stats, if their looping skills are strong enough, they are able to do it without sometimes 2004, sometimes without plug suit. It really depends on the unit. Let's go back to craft distances. All right, actually, yeah. MP gen up. All right, this C doesn't matter that it was Arts and Buster. For a lot of people, this might be like one of the best ones they get for a while. This is all attack scaling, 50%, 8% MP gen. Are there better Cs? Absolutely. But this one probably is going to be the best one some people get for a long time, outside of a K-scope or Black Bro. Yeah, I can't remember literally everything off the top of my head. My head is too full of shit. This is split stats, but the base effects aren't bad. For some servants, this will be enough.
Like, they might not be able to use Black Rail, but the MP Gen and the MP Damage, because both of those, especially the MP Damage, it's gonna let them hit Overkill, and then the MP Gen, all the MP is gonna refund them more. If you have this, this is probably the best CE for Quick right now. Because Cherry Icicle, that one might be split stats, but it's not affecting refund as much as this one. If you play through the last Halloween event, this one is basically like a lady, which was the all attack scaling, MP gain, and healing received CE that we get this year on NA for Christmas. That one is full attack scaling. This one is split, but MP damage, MP gain of decent values with a 50% starting. This actually affects a lot more servants than you think. For some servants, this is better than Traces of Christmas, which is like the go-to quick looping CE if you're starting from 50%. For some servants like Jacques de Malay, this is more impactful. They need the higher 20% MP gain is more impactful than a quick buff, because you have to remember, if you're looping with Scotty, you're getting so many quick buffs, you don't need that many more. It's not gonna help push the number as much as getting a completely new buff type. Jacques, I mean, she likes the MP damage. She likes it. It lets her get overkill quicker, but she also like ramps up MP damage, so she doesn't need this. But she has zero MP gain in her kit. And Jacques is also a little special that she has split batteries. Like, she doesn't have block 50, but she does have 50% charge in her kit. So if you unlock her mana loading, like, you have different options for looping. It's not as restrictive for her as other servants that only have one single battery. But that CE, if you have it, use it, level it up. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Level your CEs up. Don't keep them at like level 16. At least get them to like level 40. I'm not saying level 100 everything, but there's a big difference between level like 15 and level 40. Like, that's some of the biggest like jumps in game for like the least amount of investment. Like, getting to 40 is not a lot, and that is like 800 stat points, I think. It might not exactly be 800, but it's a good amount. It's a significant amount. Like, half the total value of you maxing out the CE. So level it up, you'll get more base attack. All your other scaling will work better. This is another good one. It's still split, but quick and MP Gen. It's basically Traces of Christmas, but worse, but it also includes Buster. So it's like, it's like, it's better. It's not. You have to figure it out. You have to try it out. With Quick, you kind of like, I do this with arts all the time, where I'm like constantly like doing micro adjustments and figuring out what will work. What do I have to do to let this certain loop at however I'm trying to loop them with, like starting from 0 with no supportive CE, just raw attack. Like, how do I get units to loop like that without, like, with only the batteries that they make? Like, how do I face guard before they get more overkill? Usually that actually is the best solution for a lot of my issues. It's just face guard forehead. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just going through these CEs because again, I don't remember all of them. But you can see there are some good ones that are coming up. Here we go. Like a Lady. All attack scaling, 50% CE, 20% MP Gen. And if you don't like this, there is Magical Girl Sapphire, which is going to go on rate up with Ilya in like 2 months. That is like this. It gets rid of this and gives you another 10% MP gain. Oh yeah, it's right here. It's yeah. This is straight up better than Like a Lady, but Like a Lady was a free to play CE. This is a gotcha. This is a gotcha CE. I was so tempted. I told myself I was gonna roll this. I was gonna let my quick units like shine with this thing. No, I'm not rolling for a CE. I don't have that kind of money anymore. Number one. Number two, I don't even use 50% CEs that much anymore. So why would I spend my money and possibly get spooked by Ilya? Because it would be a spook. I would not be trying to get Ilya. For this, like, this is good, don't get me wrong, but I'm not. I have a black belt. I have like all the CEs. We have Like a Lady coming out like this year. I can wait. There are alternatives. And then, oh yeah, we went so far. And then traces. Yeah, let me just skip traces. 10% quick, 10% MP gen, and 50%. Like I said, you get so much like raw quick up from the Scotties that this, you have diminishing returns, and Magical Girl Sapphire is better if you just need looping. There is Cherry Icicle that is quick and MP damage, but that is not all attack scaling. Again, like I said with the math, most people gravitate towards full attack scaling CEs. It just makes sense. A lot of servants don't have the best base attack, so why would you give them less than they could? Okay, so this was kind of like awakening that like people don't actually know how like a lot of the farming in this game works. So this is pretty much the end of this video, like bit of ranty, but I don't know what people don't know a lot of the times. So that's why I do the reviews, but obviously that's not enough because some people still don't know that, or like really understand that these are just guides. Like, this is a lot of these servants in a vacuum. This is not how like some of the older players are, like, because remember, a lot of the people that played this game started playing after like the systems actually existed. I started FGO after the Scotty system was in play. I started JP after Koi and Skya was in play. For a lot of people, they have only been like force fed, use Super Scope, use Black Rail, use double cast story, use double Vitch, use double Scotty, use Oberon with everything. People forget that before you had to like be tactical with your gauge and not really care about like the standard systems. Like, you would be using Merlin, Waver, K-scopes like all the time. But again, that was, you're shoving enough battery in to brute force looping. It's not that servants couldn't do it. I mean, a lot of them actually couldn't. Those systems like really let a lot more servants actually able to farm. But like earlier in FGO, you had to figure a lot of this stuff out for yourself. You had to play the game. I know we are so close to a lottery that people don't want to use up their mats. I get it. I'm in that same boat. I'm trying not to use up my apples, but sometimes shit happens. But yeah, a lot of this is caring about what you care about. Do you care about Mystic Code leveling up? Do you care about Bond? Do you care about your craft essences? If the answer to any of that shit is no, you can kind of do whatever the fuck you want, and you'll eventually, like, as long as you keep shoving buffs down units, eventually you'll figure out how to farm it yourself. But I'll start releasing like videos. I did this with the Buki, but I'll start like releasing videos that are like all kinds of different farming methods, like what different CEs work, uh if this servant is even able to start from zero with no additional help. Like I do that on stream all the time. I'll start releasing videos for that. Yeah, like I want to help people and like help let them enjoy the game more. Telling people they need super scope, it's not fun, but it's a standard that more people would have. Like it is easier for someone to have a K scope than it is Traces of Christmas. Why? Because you can only get Traces of Christmas 5 weeks out of 2 years. And I think that's being a little too generous. I think it might only have been 3 or 4 at most. K scope, you can get that on every single time you roll in this game, you can get a K scope. It's more accessible, even though it's a 5-star CE. And some people don't have a K scope. That happens. But there are a lot of people that at least have one copy. That's why lists like this are good, because you can substitute Bunyan for aerial drive. You can substitute Black Rail for Heaven's Wheel. Damage is going to be very different, but you could substitute. All these CEs are the main suggestion and what the damage is on them. Jord definitely can't test every single CE in the game or every single servant. That would take way too long. Use these as tools to help you, not tell you how to play the game. These are benchmarks, not guides. I will put out farming guides. Yeah, you guys don't have to worry. Literally just drop a comment of what servants you have and want to see loop, and I will try to make a video on it. It won't be like me going in detail talking. It will just be gameplay, and I will shut my mouth. There will be no talking from me, and you guys just sit the fast forward, see what the numbers are, what kind of buffs I had, and be able to go from there for yourselves. This definitely wasn't the video I planned on releasing, and I'm probably gonna drop the, yeah, we'll see. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed, drop a like or sub. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace.